All right, just got back from work. Damn, you can see my voice is pretty damn low right now because I've been shouting my students for 2.5 hours so far. Damn, and it has really affected my throat. Jesus. I mean, this is the most energetic class I have ever received so far, but it gets too hectic sometimes, and the student would just become too chaotic to for me to control. It's just me as a teaching assistant and and a teacher, which well is not enough for such energetic fellas. And yeah, well, and today's lesson has is also really heavy on pronunciation as well, which means I had to, you know, set example a lot. And by setting example, I mean talking, like speaking out loud. Ah, okay, so this is the 11th day. If you're wondering why did why I did not post any video yesterday, it was because I had that was the only day in the week that I can fully rest. So I decided to just do nothing. Yeah. Yeah, but now we're back. Let's you know, let's get back on track, shall we? Okay. So as usual, I will answer just a topic of task 1 because we I do believe there are lots of uh, questions need to be answered. So yeah. Uh okay. So the the topic I have here is hometown and birthplace, and I will get straight into it. Describe a place where you were born. I was born in the 2nd of November in a mountainous area called Sơn La, and specifically it's in a district called Mai Sơn, which is even more remote than the central city of Sơn La. So it is safe to say that where I'm from, it's quite rough. Well, I'm pretty lucky to to live in a moderate family, so I did not have to worry that much. But still, the terrain and the harsh weather were enough to, to really make me become a tougher version of myself. Tell me about the main types of buildings there. This is pretty interesting because in the past there um there are because oh before I explain the types of building it I think I should tell you a little bit about the popularity of Sula people. So most of us consist of people from different ethnic groups, and so they would in the past build a lot of mm steel house, like houses that is built on top of poles. The reason for that type of building is to prevent tigers or different wild animal from climbing up and harming the residents inside. Nowadays, nowadays the importance of um, wildlife protections is no longer there, but it's part of the tradition. So people would still build still house, and that is the main um, sorts of building where I'm from. How have buildings in your hometown changed since you were a child? Yeah, as I said, mostly consist of still house, but I'm seeing more and more people opting for a more modernized design, such as you can sometimes you can see houses that are specifically built to look like castle or to look like houses from medieval era in the Europe. Or sometimes you can also see house that has really blocky and minimalized uh, stylistic option, and that is also something that is getting more and more prevalent where I'm from. Can you describe your hometown for me? Where I'm from, it's a pretty let's just say restricted region, not because of the economy or the lack of infrastructure, but because of the terrain itself. We are surrounded by different hills and mountains, which makes traveling pretty difficult, although there has been an upgrade in terms of railroads and roads. Still, you need to you know, follow the traces that are left in between those mountains, and which make navigating through those areas pretty dangerous. And so, because of that, I think that people have a really more reserved lifestyle comparing to people from the capital city or in a more developed region like Ho Chi Minh City or Da Nang. Yeah. Which part of your country do most people live? Mm, to be honest, Vietnam is a pretty crowded country, and because of that, I cannot like specify any region that shows the higher popularity. But what I can guarantee is the fact that people are living in the city more than those who live in the countryside. And the reason for that is, yeah, I think you might have already guessed it. Is the first one is the higher chances of getting a proper job. Then there is the um, convenience of infrastructure and different entertainment designed spaces. And also, in a bigger city, there are plenty of educational system and healthcare system that is more up to the modernized standard. Tell me about the main industries in your city. Ooh. Uh, well, to be honest, I have to admit that I do not know any, specialized industry in my. Oh, there is. I forgot. From where I'm from, uh, agriculture is still play a really huge role, but we are seeing that getting intertwined with the industrial revolution more and more. So, for example, people would plant the sugarcane right around the sugar producing factory, and so sugar has been one of the most predominant industry around my region, and and more, and because of that, it has really affected the surrounding environment. I mean, sure, it does bring in a lot of economical value to where I'm from, but still, there needs to be some sort of cleansing system in order to protect the environment. Where were you born? I've already tell you that. What part of the city do you live in? Right now, I'm living in a district called Nam Tu Liêm. And to be quite frankly with you, I'm not really sure what's the difference between districts. I'm I'm guessing the closer you get to the center, the more traditional uh, feeling and vibe you will felt, because this is Hanoi and it has a really long history. So it began as a really small region, but as people are gathering and gathering more throughout the year, the city really expanded, and the outer part of the city is more diverse, whereas the inside is much more traditional and follow the very old school lifestyle. I don't have that much experience in terms of traversing around city, so I cannot really give you an actual answer. So where I'm from, I live in the outer region, so it's quite bland, to be honest. It's just like any other place where they are crowded, where it is crowded, to be honest. It's just roads and buildings and nothing special to talk about. What are the main tourist attractions in your country? Two things. I can straight off the bat I can think of two. First one is cuisine. Vietnamese is very well known for the diversity and also the freshness of food. In most regions, you will find um, dishes that are prepared in in keeping in mind the balance between the meat and the vegetable. So you would hardly felt um, heavy or too full after a meal. Instead, you would feel refreshed, and you would and the dish you will make you keep wanting more. So that's one. That's cuisine. The next part is the nature beauty. Vietnam is a region that, as far as I know, in the tropical area. So we are blessed with uh, many species of plants and also animals. Most of them are really exotic and absurd to people from the Western area. So they would mostly come to Vietnam to, you know, observe and to behold those mm, different scenery from where they are coming from. Yeah. Okay. I think that's enough. Let's move on to task two, and I will not prepare. I'm too tired. It's been a really long day, to be honest with you. I really enjoy teaching, but sometimes it can get a bit overwhelming, if you know what I'm saying. So yeah, childhood already answered that. City and town. Describe a city you know well. Let's go. Okay, I was born in a mountainous region, as you may know, and so the closest I've ever gotten to a city when in an early age was Sơn La, and that is it is we call that a city, but comparing to um, higher developed region like Hanoi or Da Nang, it's still just like a small town. But in the eyes of a a, a toddler like me back in the day, Sơn La was like it was a place of luxury, of lights, and of things that I have never seen before. It was not big, to be honest with you. When I came back, uh, you would need around 30 minutes to use your bicycle to move around the city. No, to use your motorbike to move around the city, and you can pretty much cover most of the attractions there. Um, there are many kinds of buildings, to be honest with you, because we live in a place where there are the ethnic diversity. So some people would build stilt house because they are Thai people, but some are the Viet or the King people. So we would just follow the use the standardized design of building that you would normally see everywhere else in this country. What kind of the most prevalent kind of transportation as everywhere in Vietnam is moped or motorbike. I believe that in such a rough terrain, using a motorbike is like the optimal option for you. You cannot use a car. Sure, if you want to move around the city, then a car would be just fine. But Sela City is also surrounded by really small villages that can only be accessed through. First one is walking, and the second way is using motorbikes. And of course, I needless to say, using motorbike will cost less energy and make your trip a bit more enjoyable. Still, it's really hard to get there. Um, although right now I'm living in a really modern city. Sometimes I still reminiscing about my old hometown, which is Sula City, because I was born there and I had really fond memories there. That's where I spent most of my high school years. I also spent a lot of time just hanging around with friends, and um, we would mm, we would just wandering around, and moreover and then we would just discover things that s- until now I'm not sure if I had find out enough about my city. So yeah, the first place where you took your very first step will always be the most memorable area, no matter where you are. And so I feel the same thing right now. And that's it. It was not that good. I just rambling a lot, but I'm tired right now. So yeah, I will see you on the next day. Bye.